Happy Friday. Happy Juneteenth as well. Thank you all for being here on this evening. Welcome to the Wonder Common Theater. Welcome to Beyond Baroque. My name is Ivan Salinas, Programs Manager in this historic organization, and I want to welcome you to this commemoration of Juneteenth, as well as the book releases for Audrey Shipp and Danielle P. Williams. Let's give them a round of applause. Yeah. Let's keep it going for Naomi Nightingale, Maestro, who's here, and Nicole J. Evans. Before we get started, just want to let you know a little bit about the work we do here at Beyond Baroque. We are an organization dedicated to the possibilities of language. We do so by cultivating new writing, presenting contemporary literature and art, and building a diverse community of poets, writers, and artists. I'd like to acknowledge our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the wrong done to the Indigenous communities through settler colonialism and genocidal practices. And as an arts organization, we are committed to uplifting their stories, communities, and cultures. Beyond Baroque itself is a place that was founded in 1968 by George Dury Smith. It started out as an experimental literary magazine until it evolved into the interdisciplinary art space it is today. And this building first served as the original Venice City Hall, and since the late 70s, it has been a home for artists and writers, and it has been so since the late 70s, and that's the kind of artivist and art coup that we want to see in the world, which is take all these office spaces and even old jail cells to make art. So we hope to be here for a whole other century, and that's all really thanks to your support. As we now head into July and just one more week of June, we do have a reading series called Skulls and Stairs, and it's happening next Thursday. And we do readings here in the lobby of the building, and the poets take the stairs of the building, and we kind of use that as a stage. We have some local poets, including A.J. Luxton, as well as the Inland Empire. We have Consuelo and Jay Saravia reading for that installment. And we are also having a stage reading of a play here by Tyler Newfield, also in celebration of Pride Month, and that will kind of close us out for June. We'll be on break for the first week of July, but then we're coming back with a series of readings. We're inviting trans activist and poet Faye Ika Shumari, who's just released a book of essays called Chabochi Doll, detailing experiences as an undocumented trans person living in Los Angeles and all throughout the U.S. I'll be reading with Miriam Gerba, who has a new book out called Poppy State. It's a book of essays about California that I really, really recommend. And that's happening on July 9th. And on July 10th, we also might have a watch party for the Mundial, for the World Cup. But then we'll have pinche poets reading El Mundial, you know, and that's what they're calling it. So didn't mean to offend them, but that is what they're calling. But that is happening in the evening, July 11th. So with all these festivities, you know, the poets are also taking the advantage of that to also present their work and respond to what this global phenomenon means and what it means to participate or not participate in it. So that'll be with Inchas Press. So hope to see you in July, and you can stay aware of what we have coming up through our newsletter. You can sign up on your way out or on our website, which will also be facelifting very soon. So stay tuned for all that. And of course, if you like Beyond Baroque and want to support Beyond the readings, you can always become a member. Memberships start at $75 with discount prices available to students. And by becoming a member, you get access to events for free, discounts on our bookstore, and as well as our original merch. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Lastly, shout out to the Beyond Baroque team. We have Eric Alberg in the booth, who was DJing earlier. Thank you for that. We have Genesis Perez in the bookstore and Annika Dueñas on social media. So that's just a fragment of our team, but we're here, and we'll be here after the reading if you have any questions for us about the space or want to be more involved. After the program, the authors will be doing book signings. We have all their collections for sale, so be sure to support the authors tonight. All right, for our first set of poems, we'll be hearing from Nicole J. Evans, who's a Black woman born and reared in Los Angeles, who writes poetry, fiction, and creative nonfiction. 2024 James Kirkwood Prize nominee, with poetry being published in an upcoming Flower Song Press anthology and a Black and Landia books anthology. Pre-matriarch, manifester, dreamcatcher, taleweaver, aspiring griot, empath, Leighton Gardner, inherited beautician, poet by heart, writer by revelation, and singer of her own songs. Please welcome to the podium, Nicole J. Evans.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so honored to be here with you all, celebrating the launches of Danielle and Audrey's books. And on this Juneteenth, I'm going to share a few poems with you. A lot of my poetry is an act of ancestral veneration for me as well. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to share a little bit about my ancestors and my loved ones through poetry. This first one is something new. It's called To Juneteenth. But then I think of all the ways that we ain't free. I count the studded branches on my family tree. We, baby bonsai manicured within an inch of our lives, controlled, our flourishes and growth manipulated into a nosegay of lesser design, Groundhog Day robberies. Stole the promise of grandmother's prayers, all wishes and intentions, good and guaranteed, dimmed like the half-light of a California June daybreak. We resemble a dwarfed kindling shrub full of leafy promise and circular succulent, dish-shaped petals, ripe, verdant, and green with the energy of possibility, imagination, ideation, and creation, and all that could have been were there. The ample opportunity of a tomorrow. Like Grandmother Bullock's Argentine cigarro, striking statuous sage green succulent from the Wellington Road family home where we settled 6 generations ago post-Great Migration, whose cuttings find anchor in yards of descendants that blossom and fruit devoid of light or hesitation. To the timing of some otherworldly divine division, in the moment you would least expect a gift, a flora or a reminder relinquished from given impediments. We are not unlike this giving tree. Envision us as a coastal dotting regal palm, waving to the shore, arching to the sun, or the heavenly reach of a giant majestic sequoia, a testament to the depth of our roots. This next one is Backyard. It's for Christian Lee Hart, Forever 18. They say you'll only find safety in your own backyard. That's not the only thing I believe. I believe you'll find magical imaginings that you can explore into reality and roly-polies you can collect by the scores and Dixie cups. And then you take your biggest one and I'll take my biggest one, and we'll battle race across the patio table for bragging rights. Unless it's Easter. If it's Easter, you'll be dressed too nice, matching with your siblings, and you'll get scolded if you dig in mud for bug collecting. Instead, you'll wait, baited at the back gate, until the adults release you to find eggs. Filled with candy and tricks, you and all your mother's cousins' kids with colorful plastic baskets, like they did before you all and the generation before that even, when they were siblings instead of cousins, and the distance between has never ever mattered. Never you mind the gunshots and graffiti in the front yard. Never you mind the tennis shoes hanging from the telephone lines. Those don't exist in the backyard. In the backyard, Grandpa will show you and tell you how all things take care. That if you just make the most minor effort, it feeds both the cared for and the caretaker. It is a beautiful, repetitious cycle, like all of life. It's losing and gaining to remain the same in the best of all ways. It's love. It's maintaining and surviving all of the joy and pain. It is us stuck together in the same place and bonding from the synchronicity of childhood summertime boredom. Where Nana would chide us, should we complain, that if we're bored, then we're boring, which says more about our lack of creativity than the circumstances. And so, she empowered us with the knowledge that it is up to us to value our possibilities and be safe and stay strong and receive all of the joy possible, because in the backyard, joy is our birthright, just as the backyard is a universe that belongs to us. Real love. Grandpa said, all hair takes care, when he saw his brown little kinky-headed baby girls get looked at differently than his fair-skinned and snowy-complected, curly and straight-haired grandbabies. With the strength of Solomon in his giant obsidian hands, gently wrap fire betwixt his fingers, quick as a whisper, turn our coily cotton hair into spun silk, the way his mama showed him. So he could show his darker baby girls with knotty spirals like his own that all hair takes care. And care was all we needed, to know we were beautiful too. Sunset. Pardon me, it's loading. Sunset, April 3rd, 2015, Good Friday, 90 years. Baby boy Evans, you would think they didn't care for him. Leaving him somewhat nameless for the first umpteen years of his life. Baby boy Evans, he wasn't the oldest of his mom's kids, even though she was only umpteen years old by the time she gave birth to him. Baby boy Evans was eventually called after his father, a former numbers runner turned janitor from Illinois via Louisiana, where family lore proves his kinship to Satchmo from being in the same boys' home. Baby boy Evans was always smooth as silk and tallest of his brothers, like his head shot up towards the sky until they gave him a name, or George is what they called him. Eventually, always meant to put it on his papers, but life gets away from you when you're having babies at umpteen years old, and the only thing you can do to keep them is maybe be a madam, or running numbers for the gamblers. Taking bets on life by loving in a time where the only love you could give was kept by the only love you created. And now, here we are, many generations down the road from where baby boy Evans came into his own. Hear his neighbors tell it. Big George was always the hero, married their older sister, and none of Big George's kids ever went nameless or homeless or hungry, because Big George was the kind of man who lived to honor his name, and I hope I do the same. Maybe I won't measure up to the standards he set, but I will always try, because that's how he raised me. To find a better way, to make my portion better like Big George did, to always strive to improve everything I could, even if all I'm given is dust and grass, to make that dust and grass look as good and intentional. To take pride in all you do, even if the only life I'm given is a succulent. Remember that all things take care, even you. And this one's for Bretzi. Pardon me, I'm gonna sing a little bit. I'm going back to Saturn where the rings all glow. Rainbow moonbeams and orange snow on Saturn. People live to be 205. I come from a land called Saturn. It's the place where I was born. I'm sure I first met you there not long after we entered this world, 1 month and 1 day apart. This world has changed so much in our 4 decades and 4 years, but not so much that I don't know how to return. I find my way by following the same 9-pointed star whose light gave us guidance through this world. Back to Saturn, Bretzi. I can close my eyes and life becomes a scene that feels like 4th of July, 1985, where we used to run through backyards and front yards, chasing the sound of ice cream trucks, and the biggest trouble we could get in was for letting pebbles out and slamming doors. Feeling all the freedom in hide and seeks, and all the protections that the loving and watchful eyes of our mothers, aunts, and grandmothers could pray for. Protection from what could lie beyond Saturn. And we spun rings around the world we inhabited, larger than life like your light. I'm feeling lost, cousin. Saturn is not what it once was, a land of legacies of love becoming gentrified and not for its betterment. Saturn is now ghosts of dance and laughter, jokes and prayer and song, and I thought I was the only one who could still hear them. And then I saw you return to Saturn, to the place where you used to bake squaw bread with Mimi for generational nourishment and healing, and I knew you'd be okay. When I fly by Saturn, I look for you, to make me feel like it's still home. It's our birthday time again, and this year our number is a multiple of 9, a symbol of a sort of spiritual completion, but I know I'm not done yet. And lately I haven't been able to find you. I keep asking where you are, only to find that I just missed you. Well, I guess I'll just miss you until Saturn becomes home again. Packing my bags, gone away to a place where the air is clean on Saturn. And this last one is After All. This is after, thank you. Switches They'll Never Be for Glenn Scott Evans. I was there when God showed you they loved you post double urgent emergency surgeries. I remember when you were in recovery, they brought you out of your room to hear a visiting violinist sharing the healing power of music, which you knew well, a bluebird at the window. You were overcome by the grace and mercy in your deliverance. God loves you. I'm convinced because when you got worse, they took you quickly, ended your suffering, left your loved ones chock full of joyous memories instead of the torturous existence your life had become. Grave illness robbed you of joy, compassion, kindness. Your existence became defined by anger, resentment, fear. You could not begin to fathom a recovery from that breed of suffering. There'll never be a better love. The next month, after your ascension, the world shut down. Many died quickly, some died slowly, and all suffered, even the survivors. I found perfect gratitude. I finally understood death as a messenger of joy, that you did not have to survive a nightmare called a pandemic. God still blesses you. A better love, la 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 la. How merciful that you did not witness when it came for your sister and the rest of the branches broken off of our tree. This grace is the peace that carries me, at least. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Our next poet is Naomi Nightingale, who's been writing poetry since the age of 7. Until 2023, her poems, stories, and reflections and spirit talks remained in notebooks, journals, and informal pages rather than a published collection. And in 2024, she published It Is I, Emerging, a collection reflecting on living, learning, and becoming, She's currently working on a second book of poetry and short stories. Dr. Nightingale grew up in and resides in Venice. She is president and founder of Oakwood Preservation Coalition, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving the Black history and culture of Oakwood, Venice. Please welcome Naomi Nightingale.
Once upon a genius, in times too far gone to remember, I was a spark of light, a forever glowing ember. Amber lights and purple fires surrounded me, and I moved with the grace of a free floating spirit. My eyes, your eyes, envisioned that yet to come, and my face, your face, was of the unborn universe, and our hearts held the soul of that yet to come. All was me, all was you, but in days too far gone to remember. Life is a song worth singing, a prayer worth speaking softly, not pleading, thanking, rejoicing. Life is a cry worth crying. When fresh from the tears emerges a new you, born of the revelations pushed up from your spirit through the tears that flow free and allow the same for you. Life is a question questioned, and an answer answered, going deeper and deeper with greater knowing and clearness. Each time you question, and the soul speaks its answer. Life is a breath worth taking, the giving, the seeking, the exhaling. Life is a call to the unawakened spirit, saying, teach me, open the inward door, and pour out the inside of me to the world, because life is worth worthiness. I am a revolutionary, filled with the bombs of injustices with pull pins labeled freedom. I am a revolutionary filled with religious fever, out of balance with what's righteous, but with thoughts that may not be right, yet not wrong. I am a revolutionary, suffering under the weight of suppressed anger at those who believe but say they don't know any better, who live yet do not know life. I am a revolutionary, praying for peace, but fear it will not come, until the pull pins from the bombs of injustices labeled freedom are finally released. Boom! I am a revolutionary. Let freedom reign. I grow out of my pain like a rose breaking through the concrete, maintaining its composure while heralding its beauty despite the struggle, boasting its thorns like weapons of war. Or am I like the milkweed, thirsting for air and light and freedom? Freedom to grow fast and wild, sprouting pretty yellow flowers to camouflage the stems of my anger, and the will to stand my ground, no matter how hard you pull to dislodge me from my roots. I am resilient and relentless and driven by 400 years of resistance, you will not win. I grew up in Venice, and Venice is currently and has been for a few years subject to gentrification. And along with another group called Original Save Venice, we worked hard for 4 years to save the First Baptist Church from what they called adaptive reuse by Jay Penske, who owns a lot of things and is owner of the magazine Rolling Stones, and bought the property to make it his residence. Anchoring for First Baptist Church of Venice, we anchor ourselves here, standing ground, holding down this place where voices echo from years before what faith has built. From unbroken hope that brought forth life undeterred and living free from the charity of those who took the bold stoic stance that no matter your thoughts, we stand here as men and women on earnings bought from the blood and heroic dignity of so many before us. We anchor ourselves with the spirits of ancestors past, enduring, sitting, protesting, so this church continues to stand, because we ain't done yet. Take my picture now. In this now, for this now will be no more. And in truth, it's already past. Snap a second in time of my life, lived right now, in this now, for I will never live this now again. You're too late. It's already past. Smell the room. Feel its aura. See the wall full of photos and of ancestors and favorite flowers and diplomas of past deeds. Breathe it, smell it, for the memory of it, for it's done. It's gone. The photos, the memorabilia, the statues of plastic and acrylic etched with commendations of things done, not things to come. The piles of paper and the drawers full of files will one day be thrown away with the loss of memory, along with the loss of me. Who is that woman in the photo? I'm not sure. Look on the back. Maybe it's a relative. Perhaps her name is there. Take a look at my life. See it flashing and living its duality in the now and in the past and the future. Take a look at my life now, for this glance, taking it all in, has passed. It's done. What you see and know of me now is gone. And I am new. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart. Try to understand the question and not demand the answer. The answer, it cannot be given because you would not be able to live the answer. And the point is to live everything. Live with the question now, and perhaps you will then gradually, without even noticing, live. And somewhere along some distant day, the answer will come. For the ladies, dear John, a future you cannot envision is like driving a car in circles because you don't know in which direction to go. Inevitably, you find yourself in a rut and out of fuel. I am in an emotional rut. I have run out of the fuel of expectation. Hope is, oh my gosh. Hope is a self-inflicted wound, and all belief has faded to black. It's not good, this place I'm in. So, I will love you for a long time to come. I know this because I have already loved you for a lifetime. The things I learned about me from you will always make me smile. And I will warmly embrace the memories that are our shared secrets. They are treasures and keepsakes of a time and of a person now imprinted in my soul. I am blessed for the revelation of you and a part of me that, until now, did not know how to let go. Until now. I thought I needed him. Thought I needed him in my life for a lifetime. So we talked and we agreed to stay. But a lifetime happened in its full glory and fury, and then dissipated into emptiness. Or was it nothingness? And it was then I realized a lifetime can be hours. It could be minutes, or it could be no damn time at all. The fourth quarter. This cannot be the only life I will live. How can it be when there's so much more to give? This cannot be my only time to receive the blessings galore meant for me. This cannot be it, the last of life to earn, because I've just begun. My Holy Spirit opened the doors, airways, and rivers for me to flow in. I'm beginning to soar in sweet wonderment and embrace why I'm here and what I must do at the station where I have been placed. Before now, this moment, I had not considered my life as having been stationed. That is, situated specifically on assignment in a specific place at a specific time for a specific purpose. At least it was not clearly understood as it is now. I know now I am on assignment, and just as I work to achieve the highest career placement in my profession, I must be just as committed to achieving the goals of this life's assignment, to say yes to the dictates of my soul and to set my spirit free to live my assignment. What must I do with this awareness with which I am struck? I'm in the fourth quarter of my life. My years on this earth, in this space of the universe, is to move mindfully to fulfill the livingness of each moment at the moment that it is. I have stood face to face with my failings, forgave the naive young person and the misguided adult, and embraced the reality that being in the fourth quarter of this lifespan does not give me much time to fulfill my mission. Of course, I have no idea how much time I have to be here. However, I do know that every minute counts for something, and I must ensure that that something powerfully is fulfilling and far-reaching in making the world a better place. I realize that second chances are much more difficult to get. But once you know better, and I know better, I raise the white flag of surrender to my soul and I bow to the spirit of who I am. Gratitude I have for never leaving me alone, rather always persistently tapping, relentlessly seeking permission to be freed to express itself from the inside out. Greetings, it is I living, breathing, emerging, being all I can be now. And the last, counsel from my soul. When you think you're not good enough, who are you measuring yourself against? Another writer? An unseen critic? A publisher who may reject your work? Or a friend who may not appreciate your work? Slow down. Be quiet and wait for your advice to be invited. Be respectful of others' opinions and their reflective time. Put your need to handle things and people to rest. Let your spiritual self be the lead. Let ego go and understand that anyone else's opinion of you, let it go back to the nothingness from where it came. Counsel from my spirit. Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Dr. Naomi Nightingale. Thank you for all your work as well in the Venice community, in Oakwood. And we also have a few copies of It Is I Emerging in the bookstore. Our next poet is a dear friend as Maestro Gamin, prominent LA-based spoken word poet, hip-hop artist originally from the Bay Area. We've been in zines together, in reading series. He's a karaoke master as well, and just an MC and a lyrical genius. So let's give it up for the one and only Maestro.
Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Lyrical genius? Okay. He's right about that karaoke, though. Congratulations to the poet authors in their book launch tonight, and thank you. It's always an honor to participate in events here. So, the history that was the United States, it begins with language. Even if I may say it from time to time, caught up in feelings over something with someone close, like a tribute to us, as strange as it sounds coming out of your mouth. An idea was created by them to describe us, because it starts with language. In reality, they needed to describe the ugliest part of themselves when they see us coming. The idea of it did not come from us. The idea of it doesn't really exist, but know that their inability to love needed it more than peace. So they put a name on it, tried to give it identity. They needed to identify the particular thing they needed to kill, needed to hate, needed how to assume they would manifest shame. So we took it, we turned it into love, we turned it into Wi-Fi to connect, to see ourselves amongst the unseeable. We turned it into joy. We turned it into more than what's heard, as strange as it sounds coming out of your mouth. As I hear all the voices that dreamt me here, as strange as it sounds coming out of my mouth. We are all dreams, living our lives through the tombstone roots of the most deeply betrayed loves. Maybe we owe them the debt of continuing to love ourselves. Maybe we owe it to them to not stop yelling. Maybe we owe it to them to call out wrong in a room filled with the sound of hate like blood and vinegar. And maybe one day you ante up too, in with the rest of us. And maybe I'll owe you one day. Maybe I'll put a down payment in the pot and make something new right here, right now. In 2025, it will be time to ante up, cut off the part of you that's weakest, tie it off and cauterize like a stubborn mollusk, and we'll grow from there. In 2026, the cause and effects will ripple into its own logic. And even this language will need new things to say what it is, even if it means the same thing. And you know, it probably will. Let's have a title. I'm tired of cruelty on purpose. I'm tired of existing as hard as I can in front of people paid to pretend I'm something I'm not. I'm tired of debating when they just need to be wrong in order to be wrong out loud. I'm tired of dumb ideas, idiotic assumption, imbeciles with platforms, Nazi empowered by people too scared to live in the real world, but brave enough to be unmerciful. I'm tired of being asked to fix the government when I've never worked for a government. I'm tired of made-up suspicions for clumsy power grabs. I'm tired of death. I'm tired of death. I'm tired of death. I'm tired of death. I'm tired. I'm tired, and I want to know how much we never wanted this horribly irresponsible inherited scam. Because I refuse to wait for the things killing me to admit what they're doing before I defend myself, and I refuse to engage or debate with something determined to see me gone as some kind of made-up anything it wanted to remove in the first place. I refuse to end my days filled with an anger that never blossomed because something dumb enough to be scared of my bloom thought that meant it owned the sun. And I'm tired of making art out of how to explain it for the millionth time, like putting rocks in my pocket, jumping up and down to be seen. So today, I think I'm going to take some of these rocks out of my pocket. This is just in case we go off and we got to go back on. You know, you have to muscle through a bowl of leaves, convince yourself to wake up for an early run, and act nonchalant, bending over your windshield to grab the ticket. Face the trouble of finding a clean glass for the first drink of water, but for another beer, a handful of chocolate, a rude word at the right person, shaking hands and wiping the nose, or a long kiss goodbye like some kind of impossible promise, we walk into our own destruction with an invincible gusto that makes fallen angels jealous and God shake their head with pride. So take care of yourself. Almost there. Street poet. Public but rarely published, walk with a war in my heart and a fist in my mouth. My eyes hurt when I hear my name, words getting soaked up in concrete, lost in steady traffic, pieces falling apart from the page, left next to bottles and cans, city taking the cans and leaving me, wedged in the crowd, holding a piss, perched like black crows coming alive, living in 3 minutes, showing teeth while it walks up, taking bites out of what pays attention to it, leaving pieces from people in its wake, on the ground, blinking, street poet, sometimes words getting trapped in chapbook or anthology, smiling over titles, thinking fondly over several beers, I'm not drinking right now, telling bartender it's on me, I'm a poet, embracing sharp lacks of interest, street poet, unemployed yet always working, half imbecile, half put down protest, street poet, like social movement, taking up space after the mic getting shut off, romping through barrio watering holes, a debit card worth its weight in gold, talking soft in the morning, showing what my outside voice looks like in white spaces, showing what my grandma's voice feels like in brown spaces. Street poet, gas tank, magic carpet ride through the 10, the 134, and the 5, sometimes the 60, sometimes right into the beautiful love of Lamert, The embrace of Inglewood and community-coded affiliations, Cuddy and deep city corners of Culver, East Hollywood a vibe, and Los Feliz has an accent over the I. Everybody's private battles so important, boundaries thrown up before they're felt. In pain, but it's all my own, and even long-time friendships can be failed poems on blank paper. I'll look back on what happened when it's all been forgotten, because a good poet can still remember what he wrote on them and who was down when he did. Street poet. Last one? Good time? Last one? All right. You know, maybe we should have never allowed people whose decision to assume their beliefs should be everyone's beliefs, and who would enrage themselves when forced to justify why that should be, when faced with hard facts or proofs that prove otherwise, how it removes others' rights to exist, to be exempt from paying their fair share, further expanding their influence in a land that used to say very taken for granted notion as a way to erase, massacre, deliberately disinform, or whitewash in order to be the center of all parts of the story for everyone in every timeline, while deleting them in real time through Jim Crow laws and over-policing or qualified immunity, making them exempt from justice, allowing them to investigate themselves under the guise of safety and enforcing laws that only seem to protect them, or that protect commerce over people, protect property over human life for a quick John Wayne fix. White Christian cowboy complex that has no answer for why black life or brown life or gay life, and that mental illnesses come from things that are alive, and how things can't or shouldn't be considered when being arrested, how receipts can be tombstones and a prison number is a barcode, and the total sum of an entire family screaming is the acceptable collateral damage for a shiny hill city built over a colonial utopia in dirt that has too much blood at the root, or how stop resisting is an optics tactic that plays into the favor of those who control the narrative and the gun and the investigation, or the character assassination to follow, the sum of the payout, the protest dispersal tactic, tear gas, rubber bullet chaos that ends up being a lesson about how loud your voice can be, really must be in relation to a price that you're willing to pay in blood, in brain matter, in a dry lynching of chicken shit fear from the trained dog of CEO vacation bonus. Everybody just trying to cash out, but money's temporary and a memory lives on forever. We're going to remember, we're going to fucking remember this. Memories live forever, and that's why greed doesn't stop at dollars, doesn't just need my life and your life and what we need to live and where we need to sleep and what we feed ourselves to be and what we think to do this right here without owing for 3 more lifetimes, without twisting my arms into buying insurance in case it all burns down, in case it all implodes 2.5 miles from where all the problems it caused are, in case, just in case, comes to collect and someone punches the glass box saying break here, in case it all breaks here, in case it all breaks like a democracy, when all the lies I'm forced to tell myself in my losing hour of a morally bankrupt distress call disguised as SOS. Thank you.
Maestro, over here. Thank you so much. Yeah. Our next poet is Danielle P. Williams, a Black and Chamorro poet, essayist, translator, and spoken word artist from Columbia, South Carolina, whose work traces identity, heritage, and belonging across cultures and generations. She holds an MFA from George Mason University and fellowships from Open Mouth Poetry Retreat, Palm Beach Poetry Festival, and a few others. Her chapbook, Who All Gonna Be There, was a finalist for the Button Poetry Chapbook Competition and published by Backbone Press. And her debut collection, which we're celebrating this evening, is Chamorrita Song, published by the University of Arizona Press. Round of applause for Danielle P. Williams.
Hello, happy Juneteenth. I'm actually going to start with a poem from my chapbook, Who All Gonna Be There. It's called A Walk on June 19th. It ain't even 11 and I already seen some brothers and sisters with freedom in the hinge of their knees. A celebratory pimp walk, a jive in the feet. This the day we get an extra pep in our shadowed steps, a plea to walk the white man's walk. It's freedom time, y'all. And those feet of mine won't stop walking, can't stop walking. Never know when time will run out. Free. Come free these shackles, these wrists, the echoes caught clamoring between shackle and withering bone. Free me. Free up enough space to breathe. Free up our dead, pull our bodies from the bottom of your red, white blues. Maybe learn a thing or two about why you shouldn't fish for gold in the gutted ribs of black folk. No, not today. So go on and get your America. Tell her it's freedom time. Ain't we supposed to be free now? Don't stop walking, can't stop walking. A walk on June 20th, a walk on June 21st, a walk on June 22nd. Ain't we supposed to be free now? So this collection is my debut collection of poetry, and Chamorrita Song, or Kantan Chamorrita, is an ancient oral tradition from the Chamorro people. My mom's family is from Guam and Saipan, the Mariana Islands, and basically it's a poetic debate or cipher. The villagers would show up and we would go back and forth, and I would say 4 lines and you would say 4 lines, and we would talk about all the things happening on the island. And it was really just a way for the indigenous people to engage in their culture and the art, but also talk about what's going on. So this collection is really me diving into that tradition, making it my own, but also looking at other traditions like slave songs and authors like Langston Hughes, and really understanding how Black and indigenous communities are using art to heal themselves. So this is Kantan Chamorrita. 1, here are the rules. Show up to the center of the village with a sharp tongue. Have your friends and family crowd you like graduation day. Identify your opponent. Be sure, start first. Each round, compose couplets, yell quatrains, 4 lines to expel against the forgiving sea. Another opportunity to configure wit, rhyme or not. Just make sure it's something not worth forgetting. Please don't forget it. Your last line can be anything, but think fast. Listen and watch as the stories run straight to you. Start your next poem on your opponent's last wish too. Once you've got a rhythm about you and you're crafting songs, pushing fear to the edge of the village, to the edge of the world, don't stop getting in your own way. Make sure they remember our names. Show up to the center of each room with a sharp tongue. Have your family and friends hold your poems like they should have held you. Your last line can be a relief. Just make sure there's more. 4 more poems means 4 more gone. The stories you tried to forget, just 4 more. Be sure, strike first. 3. Sometimes rhymes are like uppercuts. Find a life in this chaos, make it beautiful. Start your next poem with your opponent's last breath, and never forget 4. Your poems decide what's next. Black body as bird. Black body as songbird. Singing every damn song but my own. Carry me across the sea, make me a seabird. See what they done to me? They done made me into something else. Now I don't know which sea is home. Am I even a bird anymore? Have you seen what they're doing to me? Black body as bird, as metaphor, as song meant as warning. I'm warning you. Let me fly at liberty. Let me fly at all. Black body said, I don't know which sea is home. Songbird, can you sing us home? Birds and black bodies born with wings, but that don't mean we're free to go as we please. Please let our bodies be. They said we're songbirds, got this blues building, but can't nobody hear us speak. Black body as songbird, as seabird. Is it a song? Is it a body at all? Is there a home we can call our own? More like those cursed blackbirds, more like death to black bodies and their dreams. Can't none of us really leave. Black bodies with this colonized disease. Ain't nobody about to hear our songs no ways. The Fanyagi in America. 1. In America, hardly anyone knows I'm a Chamorrita. They know little of Guam or Saipan. Know nothing of how the hell we're supposed to dance in America's world to imagine life with little roots. There's Tautamona in the bodies of black girls, but they don't know how to be in 2 places at once. They don't know how to be American and remain calmly in their own skin in a land they do not own too. America, knowing little of the feeling of gender, let alone a way to describe it, casting labels but lacking detail, colonizing everything yet misunderstanding simple concepts. Queerness was never meant to stay quiet. History can't be repeated without inspiration. We were matriarchs in our Marianas. We were naked and free and without shame, sacred vessels, stories passed down instinctual. Everything that was, everything that is. 3. In America, the natives of our oceans get reduced to backslash. Categories not big enough to hold our seas, shining in the ambers of our ancestors. We will rise with the tide, dream and gleam and reap our majesties. For at my auntie's home in Hawaii, where our bloodline also lives, the wind welcomes her wise words. She says it so simply: never turn your back to the ocean. Oh, the sea and its unpredictability. Oh, the shining nature of forcing away and claiming what you feel is owed. For hiding love from others. Za malagozu na hutongo, manunai gegi penitimu, koa itronkan corazonmu, paripuntan babelemu. I would like to know where you store your love pains. At the pit of your heart, at the ends of your lashes, I'm cratered wall, all limestone and stubbornness. This love is big and hurts, but it is my burden alone. And I'm still falling, fading into waves foam, and nobody told me how to love, only how not to die. In my pit, in my rigid core, I'm still waiting for you. But I can't love you, I can't even love myself. When people tell me that dancing hula makes you exotic, people tell me dancing hula makes you exotic. They don't know what it means when my nana points her palms purposefully and sharp. They've never felt real blades, seen a father, his body collapsed, hips hidden, machete on the slant of his crinkled over neck. When my nana dances, she's praying. She's dancing the story of her father, not yet beheaded. Amen. Thank you, God. Ayade, as her hands guide her eyes to the sky. The sky is all he saw before his forehead hit the cold, wet dirt. Then those boots, the Japanese soldiers, the sky of Guahan native land, her feet moving ever so slightly. Her chin down, staring at the ground. Instead of cutting my great Tata's head off, the soldiers pulled out their dicks and pissed on his weeping face. Mace. That's the word in English my nana never learned, though she translated it. Her sad hula. The image of her father dead in more ways than one. Her mother and brothers and sisters kneeling down behind him, praying to God, waiting for his execution. Ayade, God. Ayade, my God. What you don't know is that hula is trauma expressed through the body, a dance to relive, to outlive, to set free, to cry, and live many lives not your own. And you can't not dance, and you can't not remember what haunts you. This is for mothers. Any foreign mother knows America has its own fees. So do we. The children, the slow erasure, the vessels crossing many seas, these high tide strong like rush hour highways to nowhere. Which way is America? How long till water becomes dirt? Till the journey brings us to safety. Safely we've been promised lives, lands. There was a triggerfish stretched over Saipan. Trace the points along its body. Let the rising and setting stars become a guide. Find whatever it is that serves you in America. Being a color, not white, is like serving time. Chain bolted to feet, bolted to ground. The ash of dust collecting at your ankles. The sound of the waves. So close, so close. How long till dirt becomes grave? Any foreign mother will point you to the wall closest to the door. Motion for you to take off your shoes in her home. My own mother is a complicated woman. For most of our lives, we have been foreign to one another, watching from afar, biting, waiting for a place to call our own. We live on the surface, drown with our backs turned. Who knows what we yearn? I don't know her well. She doesn't know me. I am a rogue wave my own way. I am destruction sometimes. I am saving lives my own way, riding away from the chaos, from the blood that bonds us sometimes. I am afraid to ask what haunts you. Sometimes I'm afraid that you won't bring yourself to show me you. At my home, there is a mat at the door for shoes. I'm gonna read 2 more poems. Thank you for rocking with me. Sorry, there's a lot of poems in this book. Bear in mind that death is a drum, after Langston Hughes. Do you feel that violent bumping in your body? The rhythm of your life bolting from itself? The syncopation of your heartbeat drumming up death? And how are you not jumping out of your bones? Stomping for God or second chances? When it comes for me, I'll be damned if I'm not dancing. They say if you dance good enough, the Holy Ghost can catch you, carry you to a new home worth living for. Meantime, we're still dancing, awaiting death like altar call, listening to life like a signal to start the song. And when the drums roll for me and the boom cats a groove worth dancing for, worth dying for, I'll be here, waiting at God's door. Chamorrita Song. Sometimes I imagine I am a competitor, that I have say in what happens to my body, that I'm not a poet, that I'm not just anybody, that I'm a poet, all rhyme and song and beating heart, a body like water ripping life apart, each word a gospel, each return another chance to fight for my life. I think I deserve that right. And there's nothing new about these songs, just like my hands still bleed. And I've learned we're not who people believe, but I still yell my poems like last words. I still hope for relief. Thank you.
Danielle P. Williams, everybody. Thank you. We got Chamorrita Song in bookstore as well. And our next and final poet of the evening is a new voice that I've had the honor of experienced here in the Walnut Coleman Theater at Trenches Full of Poets. We invited hosts Nicolai Garcia and Mauricio Moreno to do an open mic and poetry reading, and Audrey Shipp was one of the readers, and her book Poetry and AfroDiaspora, Poésie, poesía in AfroDiaspora really called to me, and I think you will hear some of the just the languages and the different cultures and the diasporas that are present in her work that really spoke out, and we were able to create this program for this evening. So so that you know a little bit more about Audrey, she is an AWP writer to writer mentee and a Pan American Emerging Voices Workshop LA honoree, whose hybrid memoir, When I Was a Bilingual Writer, Birthed by Black LA, will be published by Unsolicited Press in 2027. Her writing has also been published in various journals, including Good River Review, Panorama Magazine, ASL Magazine, amongst others. And her bilingual and trilingual poetry has appeared in America's Review, Arte Público Press, which was formerly published in the University of Houston. And she holds degrees from both UCLA and Cal State LA, and a certificate in creative writing from UCLA Extension. Her professional life has been dedicated to teaching English and ESL in public high schools throughout Los Angeles. She is also the founder and editor at the Colonial Passage Literary Magazine. Round of applause to Audrey Shipp.
Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Beyond Baroque for this opportunity to read. And as Ivan stated, I'll be reading from my bilingual and multilingual collection titled Poetry, Poesía, Poésie in AfroDiaspora. Okay, so I will begin with the first poem in the collection. And this poem is a reflection on the African American community and whether or not we can be defined as an internal colony or an integrated minority. And the title is Una Carta, a letter from the colony. I want to write a letter from the colony, if I am allowed a pen, and I shall begin in silence and a murmur. I will begin to write, look towards you, then turn away. I shall start in one language y después cambiaré a otra. Walking aimlessly towards the door, I shall recall yesterday and remember the embrace of a lover. I will think of today and worry over tomorrow. Clutching for the soil, I shall grasp only sand. Reaching for a coin, I will find nothing. Glancing out the window, I shall see the uneven pattern of my history and the outline of a future already planned, a plan I must continually struggle to break. I will hear voices, all urging me to say some one special thing. Holding my pen, soñaré o no soñaré, pensaré o no pensaré, diré o no diré. Yet I will begin again and again con esta carta de la colonia. So this next poem is a reflection on what my family lost when they migrated from Tennessee to California. And for me, that meant losing our extended family. I don't know what this migration got us, brought us, put us up upon into, placed us into a house, bigger, better perhaps, saw us, lived us, schooled us in a barrio, Big Los over there beyond accumulated thoughts, past all freeway lanes of desires at so many miles per hour, there, in that everywhere, migrating, changing, renting, paying with tokens, with food stamps for chicken southern, burrito northern, and returning to a go back beyond, a Tennessee sin abrir, a Chicago sin abrir, El Caribe sin abrir, and migrating on a highway with a suitcase, un maletín, going. Okay, so this next poem has a title in 3 languages, with the emphasis on the Indigenous Nahuatl term, Nepantla, which means borderland or feelings of displacement. And the title is Borderline Nepantla en Medio. If I stand feet immersed in a flowing river and the river swells, I must decide towards which shore I shall jump. If caught between various thoughts, I walk a mental tightrope, a myriad of sentiments, numerous colors on a flag, many shades seen through a fog. I want to walk the borderline, where life is never wholly defined, yet can be described because totally present and concrete, where all languages lead to the same phrase. Here, we fall in love with the passion and claim it as our own. Between 2 houses, at the juncture of 3 roads or various paths, and surrounded by conspirators conspiring towards the same. After losing the past, one delves into it again, constructs it again, naming it Nepantla. Survive on the borderline, where no one knows what to think of you and will never think enough of you. I want to walk the borderline. Alrighty, so let's see, this poem is actually, this is the first poem I remember writing. I can actually visualize myself writing this poem sitting in the kitchen. I wrote this poem in 1980. So these poems actually were written in 1990 and 1991. And these poems, as Yvonne mentioned, 3 of them were published during that era, and the rest of the poems I just kept in a file all that time. But this poem was actually written in 1980. And the title is I Slip Away Sometime. I slip away sometime into dreaming and digging deep towards the depths sometime, to where the heart is, time is painted, history measured towards the core sometime. And down I go sometime, talking about living in a world that won't have me sometime, building a house that won't hold us sometime, and having a child who when a man won't own me sometime. And down I go sometime, into secret hidden places, dark alleys sometime, where rivers used to roll, like the hips of a black gal, yes. Okay, so let's see. In this poem, I'm reflecting on the African/Black diaspora, which I perceive as global and distant, well, global and let's see, extensive, right? And then, of course, distant, but I'm trying to bring the diaspora as close to me as my neighborhood. And I'm using, in this poem, I'm using Chicano and Puerto Rican diction and also French. And the title is My Neighborhood AfroDiaspora or AfroDiaspora. Estoy consagrada a mi barrio, el barrio que dibujé con sus olas llenas de mar, de océano hecho ocean para ochun. A commitment, a consecration, con safos, to neighborhood. A neighborhood that is picturesque. A picture d'une petite ville dans la mer, a village between the little continents, continents that close like petals of a rose. Una rosa, cette rose d'un amour oublié. Continents tiny like a huge woman's space, giving birth to languages, lenguajes, langage. Este barrio lleno de esquinas con gente, tanta gente, gente de toda gente gentil. People peopling a place, filling it up. This southern humid neighborhood, this hot deserted desert neighborhood, this cold northern neighborhood, this place, tu place, dentro de mí. Fiel, aquí, ahí, nada más. Thank you. Okay, this poem I wrote when my mother passed away in 1988. She passed away from lupus at the age of 49, and the title is La Chanteuse de Jazz. La Chanteuse de Jazz est morte, se murió anoche. Thus today it's all black, black dress, stockings, tradition, for this is morning. And if I open my mouth, her words will pour from my lips, brotando, diciendo cosas y tantas. Love that went away, house without a home, a love bigger than myself, sitting in my lonely room, waiting for, hoping for, if nothing else, than you. La chanteuse est morte, pero yo no digo nada, nothing. I'm just sitting here in my lonely room. Let's see, in the 1980s and the 90s, during the wars in Central America, during the Revolutionary Wars in Central America, I wrote a series of poems on the wars and the U.S. intervention to curtail the wars, as usual, right? So this is titled Poems of Overt War II. In this particular war, at this specific pinpoint minute, 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, and 11 Outremer, What nation am I in this grizzled, disgruntled, tortured enterprise fighting for? Is it the Jazz Nation? Ou peut-être that of the Cherokee? Is it Aztlan? O quizás será that of the Mayas, that vanishing floated into a fantasma? How shall I carry my flag to position it burdened under the weight of pole and banner, being this too quickly identifiable continental anomaly, a Europeanized Afro bastard left at the doorsteps of progress and technology? Here I go, all of me, stumping into tiers-monde with 4 caseloads of cultural baggage. Who asked me, calling by silk-like wire around the globe through satellites and dispensers of automatic sound, if I was willing to wage this war? And who so unequivocally silenced my no? Okay, so I'll read 2 more. So I'll read one more from this book, and then I will read, if I can find it, yeah. And then I'll read a poem that I wrote recently. So the last poem is, let's see. The last poem is a poem that I wrote for a friend. She was studying at UCLA, and then she returned to Puerto Rico. And so this poem is titled La Despedida, to Goodbye. La despedida fue realmente una sorpresa. El pensar que ibas a poner todo otra vez dentro de un maletín. La boricua regresa a Borinquen, taking with you hands outstretched like palmeras and the laugh behind your sonrisa. LAX lay in waiting, stretched out in a desert of a sprawling city amongst electric lights and smog. A grid pattern that is the bosom of so many landings and takings off. LAX, destination London, pointing to le tiers-monde, LAX a Japón, LAX a Borinquen. El boleto no es de ida y vuelta como vas tú entrando en estas nubes para uno de estos siempre de que nos hablan los cuentos, las canciones, hasta las telenovelas. Say goodbye to the spirits that hang around the place, in the walls of all those air terminals, in wings and engines and roaring sounds, tempting us to leave, calling us back again, making us break down at the thought of leaving some life carefully constructed, life on life, emotion on emotion, person by person to person. Diles adiós, te ruego, a todas estas gentes que me saludaron entre estas paredes, especialmente a ellos que nunca regresaron. Sube al avión con tu cuerpo en sus entrañas, y tú quedarás otro espíritu en los grandes salones de LAX. Leaving, you leave a space, un hueco, como los demás. Above the city, wave your hands from the window, como palmeras, above the dry, quieted LA morning. Thank you. Okay, so I'll read this poem. This is a poem that I wrote 3 weeks ago, and the title is When the Police Come for Me. And this is the last poem. When the police come for me, tell them okay, I'll start again. When the police come for me, tell them I've gone home to my country. I'm sorry. It's just so much, just so painful, some of the things happening to people right now. But anyway, here we go. When the police come for me, tell them I've gone home to my country, that they don't need a boot nor a tree, that they won't be pressing my head against concrete, or hanging me from a tree. All right. Tell them I've gone back past South Central and past Tennessee, past Liberia, past the Middle Passage, that I've gone home to my language, my music, that they don't need to, oh my goodness, that they don't need to transport, teleport, deport me. Tell them that I've gone home again, this time against the grain, that the border this time is time itself, that I don't need a private cell from a private squad or a private farce to hide the pain. Tell them that I'm learning new languages, dialects, new words to say salvation, liberation, reparation. Thank you.
Round of applause to all our poets this evening. Thank you all so much for being here with us. We have the authors' books for sale in the bookstore, but this also is an evening of liberation, striving for revolution, and we heard it from our poets this evening, and I think we are in a moment to reckon with what we will be doing collectively to make sure that we are all free now and the next day and beyond that. So I want to thank you, Audrey, as well, for bringing us all together this evening, and want to wish you all a happy weekend, and to be in solidarity with all your comrades, friends, and family, and those who may not know yet as well. So thank you. Our poets can come up on stage and we'll get a photo together. And y'all had amazing outfits as well, and as well as our audience. So thank you so much. All right. Right there, yeah. I'm gonna put him in. Yeah. Y'all want to take a photo? Yeah. She's